Welcome back, Renegades. Vincent's Tale, The Bedroom. Oh, the guitar sounds lovely. Nice. It's nice to see him playing guitar like this again, isn't it? Takes me back to like I Shot the Sheriff, the Big Push stuff. While that background loop is still doing the I don't know what it would be, like the minstrel thing.
Have you ever felt anger with nowhere to place it? Vincent felt cold, neglected and jaded, impotent, empathy castrated. Look for the new thing, always look for the new thing, but never look inside, never look within, without, above, below. Same thing. Wait, it gets deeper than that. The insane thing is sane man living in insane.
Yeah, wicked. This is like it's akin to higher end, this sort of stuff, isn't it? And these kind of, I guess, lyrics and thoughts, explorations, you know, I really, really enjoy pondering these kind of things. And there is no difference, is there, between the within, the without? There are some differences, I guess, but from what he's saying, you know, it is the same, I guess. Like your internal environment affects your external environment, but vice versa as well, I guess.
Anger. Have you ever felt anger with nowhere to place it? Vincent felt cold, neglected and jaded, impotent, empathy castrated. Look for the new thing, always look for the new thing, but never look inside, never look within, without, above, below. Same thing. Wait, it gets deeper than that. The insane thing is sane men living in insane terrain, contort insane brains that are kind of deranged, strange, without the factor of cause and effect. Factually, the man's a casualty of constant neglect. Let's start at the start. Vincent was born in the dark, home birth to a mother painted scars in her arm. Track march from the dragon, China white in the palm. Shooting up the birth canal, Vinny fell out like yarn. Tumbled out, himself unraveling, and that was the theme. Exceptionally average grade, sprayed with low self-esteem. From the fire to the frying pan, painting it green. When it's the cash that rules everything around me. Cream, get the money, funny Vinny. He weren't ever good at hustling, shitty jobs that he was dead and stocking. Started a combustion, nothing. Pulled him out of debt, the debt collector's rushing to be stripping him of everything. Eventually, there's nothing. The cycle is a cycle for a psychopath on ice. The day repeats, the days, the weeks a most your life. When the day's done, it's the same one. It's a repeat, it's a rerun, a deja vu religion.
This is interesting, then. This is making me think of people that live, you know, that same life day in, day out. And I guess I've done it to, you know, periods of my life I've done it. But neurologically, is that the right way to put it? I've heard, you know, that when your day is exactly the same and your weeks are exactly the same, you know, your brain stops recording, you know, new things. I think novelty is important in our lives, isn't it? Novelty is important in our lives. New things, you know, new stimulus, new stimuli. Yeah.
For both.
Let's take it back a little bit.
nothing. Pulled him out of debt. The debt collector's rushing to be stripping him of everything. Eventually, there's nothing. The cycle is a cycle for a psychopath on ice. The day repeats, the days are weeks, the weeks are most your life. When the day's done, it's the same one. It's a repeat, it's a rerun. A deja vu religion, a foreboding of a prison. Whole Britain, Great Britain, hell Britannia rule the wave. We started out with intentions and we ended up like slaves. Drink to kill the tension, but the drinks cost your wage. What helps you is what kills you when you're living too deep.
That's an interesting point as well. The drink just doesn't cost you wage, does it? You know, it costs everything. You know, it costs your mind, it costs your health, it costs your consistency. It costs your ability to think clearly, I think. It costs your ability to make progress, you know. You're just getting stupider day by day. And I was a big drinker for every single day for like a decade, man. And in the short term, you know, maybe it's all right, but it just keeps you down, man. Just keeps the boot on your throat, you know. Has anyone seen that? There's a picture of some kid with a boot on his face, and then when it like zooms out, he's got the hand in the boot, pushing it on his face. You know, I think that's an important metaphor for a lot of people's lives. You know, is that we can blame, you know, you can complain about systems and systems are shit and all that. But really, it's often ourselves that are holding us back, isn't it? You know, and we can't. How can we expect to change things or alter systems? You know, on a bigger level, if we haven't done it for ourselves first, you know, and it's difficult, I know. But you've got to do it yourself. You've got to learn to be disciplined. You've got to identify, I suppose, the things that are doing you damage, the things that are holding you back, the things that are in your control to change, the things that you can change and you would change because you should change. You should change, you know, those things because there is so much that is in our control, you know. And you've got to start small sometimes, you know. It's just getting the vacuum out, tidying your space, you know. Keeping things clean, keeping your space tidy. Just do that for a little bit, you know. Just eat better, just a little bit, you know. And then a little bit more. Move a little bit, as much as you can. And a little bit more, you know. Stay hydrated. Try and fix your sleep. All that sort of stuff. And then, but you've got to just stay at it, you know, every day. And it's on the days you don't want to do stuff. Those are the most important ones. And then over time, you can make progress, you know. And then as you make progress, you make more progress. And I think it's exponential. And it ain't easy, it ain't pretty, but that's the only way, man. There can be no revolution without a revolution of self first, you know.
Britain, hell Britannia rule the wave. We started out with intentions and we ended up like slaves.
I feel like I'm killing the rhythm of this, you know, with my digressions and that. Let's just take it all the way back to the end of his guitar and I'll just let it play a bit.
Anger. Have you ever felt anger?
Anger. That was the easiest thing for me to feel for a long time, you know.
Impotent. Empathy castrated. Look for the new thing.
It's the only emotion I had.
Look for the new thing, but never look inside. Never look within, without, above, below. Same thing. Wait, it gets deeper than that. The insane thing is sane men living in insane terrain can turn insane brains that are kind of deranged, strange, without the factor of cause and effect. Factually, the man's a casualty of constant neglect. Let's start at the start. Vincent was born
I'm going to have to pause it again because I've got another thought. Like Jim Carrey spoke about it. He says, you know, he's not saying depression, you know, isn't real or you know, difficulty and hardship and all that. But if you're not if you're not eating well and moving your body as as well as you can, you're not giving yourself a fighting chance, And yeah, maybe things ain't gonna work out for you anyway, but there's no chance, if you ain't helping yourself.
Home birth to a mother, painting scars on her arm. Track march from the dragon, China white in the palm. Shooting up the birth canal, Vinny fell out like yarn. Tumbled out, himself unraveling, and that was the theme. Exceptionally average grade, sprayed with low self-esteem. From the fire to the frying pan, painting it green. When it's the cash that rules everything around me. Cream, get the money, funny Vinny. He weren't ever good at hustling, shitty jobs that he was dead and stocking. Started a combustion, nothing. Pulled him out of debt, the debt collector's rushing to be stripping him of everything. Eventually, there's nothing. The cycle is a cycle for a psychopath on ice. The day repeats, the days are weeks, the weeks are most your life. When the day's done, it's the same one. It's a repeat, it's a rerun. A deja vu religion, a foreboding of a prison. Whole Britain, Great Britain, how Britannia ruled the wave. We started out with intentions and we ended up
it's
like
a nice
slaves.
mashup of like
Drinks kill the
all his different
tension,
styles, this one,
drinks
isn't
cost
it?
Your wage. What helps you is what kills you when you're living too DK. And so it goes. Vinny starts to drink to let go. Soon he's drinking, cause when he don't drink, every day is a day on death row. So he drinks so he don't have to think.
It's beautiful. Great warning as well, isn't it? You ain't living.
When the spirit that's inside of him sinks in his teeth, and the months turn over, May to October. More days pissed than the days he spent sober. Skin looks older, demeanor gets colder.
Yeah.
Sledgehammer swing to that chip on your shoulder. A cold prison deep in alcoholism. 40% proof, no juice. Inhibition get loose, bad decision and taboos. When we're living for the booze, who's who he lose himself to. One too many, 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, very interesting, man. It is. Everything he says is true, isn't it? It kills everything inside you, ruins your skin. But your thoughts, you make bad decisions. I heard it said that alcohol doesn't make you unaware of consequences. It makes you not care, So, yeah, if you're deep in drink, how can you make good choices? How can you break that cycle to get out? You've just got to stop, man. And it ain't pretty. It ain't pretty when you stop. But it just ain't living, is it? That was a real nice bit.
Soon he's drinking, cause when he don't drink, every day is a day on death row. So he drinks so he don't have to think.
It's a shortcut to the divine, isn't it? It's a that's what all intoxications are, I think. It's an inadequate shortcut to something real, to the source, whatever that is, to love, to God, whatever the word is, for it. Russell Brand used to say something that I always found funny. I didn't have a problem with drugs, I had a problem with reality. But man, you've got to get with reality, haven't you? You've got to.
Taste bittersweet when the spirit that's inside of him sinks in his teeth, and the months turn over, May to October. More days pissed than the days he spent sober. Skin looks older, demeanor gets colder. Sledgehammer swing to that chip on your shoulder. A cold prison deep in alcoholism.
It's just a great performer, isn't he, as well, Ren? It's like inspiring stuff.
Living for the booze, who's who he lose himself to. One too many, 1, 2, 3 shots down. Drown those sorrows up in London town. If we in for a pen.
That's another thing, isn't it? When you're living like that, you're not living out the adventure of your life. You're missing the adventure of your life.
One too many, 1, 2, 3 shots down. Drown those sorrows up in London town. If we in for a penny, we in for a pound. Fate comes full circle. Now it's Vinny boys round.
So awesome. So this is the policeman, isn't it? That's from the previous tales.
Siren starts singing as the screws murder silence. Stand on my Miranda, my right to remain violent. One man's resistance is another man's.
Beautiful, man. That's interesting, isn't it? That first track is gorgeous. Going into this one, change of mood, change of feel, but feels great, sounds great. I was looking at a white hat, very similar to that the other day. Kind of want one. He's a little bit scared of him.
As the screws murder silence. Stand on my Miranda, my right to remain violent. One man's resistance is another man's tyrant. When tyrants make the law, they go to war with non-compliance. Locked up, Vinny been locked up since his mother knocked up. Kitty grew up fast, pulled his socks up, chop chop. Keep that credit top top. Time is money, tick tock. Quantify the price upon your soul and then it's chop shop. Not particularly special, Vinny spent his life a vessel for the musings of the devil. Repetition caused some issues, turned a hide into a jackal. Building pressure in the kettle, bubble up to boiling level. Ooh man, he's a mad lad, falling on the warpath. Vinny split the atom like a Nagasaki bloodbath. Skies are raining black ash, copper car lights flash. Red and blue kaleidoscope, some folks don't like that. Never mind, just a victim of society. The one that serves you alcohol and sells you your sobriety. The one that sells you sex.
I think this is it is as far as I can tell, you know, the newer generations are kind of rejecting the idea of drinking alcohol and stuff. You know, no, it's still a big thing, isn't it? It's still a big problem, I suppose. I wonder how many people, you know, have got a good relationship with it, and how many people haven't. I'm not really sure what is a good relationship with it. But it seems that society is moving in the right direction. Do you think, in that respect, in the respect of people being more kind of focused on going to the gym, to eating better foods? I mean, it's a wonderful time we live in, isn't it? With the internet. Not that doesn't come without its problems or concerns, I suppose, but the access to information has never been broader, I suppose, or, you know, easily accessible to anybody. You know, you can learn about whatever you want to learn about. You can research most things that you would want to research, you know. And there's endless, you know, there's communities for everything as well, isn't it? You know, you can find your tribe, you know, you can find the things that you're interested in. You can find other people that are interested in those things. You know, you can find inspiration and encouragement and solace, I suppose, in those kind of things, which is interesting.
Just a victim of society, the one that serves you alcohol and sells you your sobriety, the one that sells you sex as it pedestals virginity, the one where we elect these lying pests with God ability. 1 to the 2 to the 3 to the 1, our boy spun his own web-fed tarantulas come like 9 to the 9 to the 9 for his crimes, timelines intersect, Richard's fate was designed. Just set the scene, it's 2019. Richard and a boy named Screech. The hands of fate, they touch and reach. Siblings buried, blood it bleeds. Ashton Richards.
This is a cool shot, isn't it?
Takes the time of absently hitting the bottle to soften the blow in the walls of yourself, and there's nowhere to go. When his friends on the force, they don't call, they don't show. Go to therapy, raggedy seem to plateau. When his popo went loco and woe so low that his mojo no mono rebound no yo-yo, and so the time it moves slow mo. You see the case was never closed because the motive was confused.
So. I mean, these days, which police officers anymore are able to carry firearms? Is this like a historical inconsistency? Is it just, you know, the firearm units that have them? I'm not really sure. I didn't realise until just the other day that it was only, I think, 1996 or something that firearms were made illegal or whatever in the UK, or, you know, handguns and things like that. I thought the police always carried them. I thought the police never carried them. So yeah, I was kind of like, oh wow. But I suppose I was just a kid then, so I wouldn't know. But yeah, it's kind of it's interesting to hear the other side of the story of Ren telling this, right?
They don't struggle to therapy, raggedy seem to plateau when his popo went loco and woe so low that his mojo no mono, rebound no yo-yo, and so the time it moved slow-mo. You see the case was never closed cause the motive was confusing. Orphan killed his sister but his sister was removed when the mother died in childbirth, but dying womb life brings. The cycle of samsara always was quite amusing. Brother killed his sister but the records seem to show the brother never met his sister, didn't even know. So the tragedy was a catastrophe, a fate fucked up. Rich just losing sleep while his whole family's talk.
This is just beautiful sonically, isn't it? It's interesting. It's an interesting take on trauma, I suppose, isn't it? You know, from different sides, you know, and the blurring between, you know, what's good and what's bad, you know, who's good and who's bad. It's not that black and white, is it? It's never that or rarely that black and white, I think. Is that the capacity for good and evil runs right through the middle of everybody, I think. We could all be susceptible to it, you know, but it's about how you choose to, which voices you listen to, I suppose, which paths you decide to take. With all that said, you know, I mean, some traumas, I mean, some things, they destroy people, don't they? Yeah, it's interesting. Sonically, this sounds beautiful as well, doesn't it?
Brother killed his sister, but the records seem to show the brother never met his sister, didn't even know. So the tragedy was a catastrophe, a fate fucked up. Rich just losing sleep while his whole family's talk. The 5 stages of grief is a common psychological model, often used to provide reassurance to all those stricken by loss. For loss comes with a cost like frostbite, shockingly cold,
Nice.
paving the road to decomposure, decomposing your soul. 1. Denial, pretending for a while, reality retired, but everything is changing. Richie lost the will to smile, how to reconcile when murdering a child. The 2nd stage is anger, feel it bubbling the bile. Anger, damn the man that served the hand that wrote the plan. If God is will that's good and grand, then damn we are all are damn forsaken by creation. Revelations, Richard cannot stand. The 3rd stage is bargaining, begging God for second chance. Lord, I know it is a reach, but I'm begging on my knees. Resurrect the boy James, resurrect the boy Screech. I'll devote my life to thee, I will live a life of peace. Stage 4 is depression, that's a lesson taught in grief. Depression, demonic like possession, that feeds upon this spark for life. No water is refreshing, no sunlight brings him warmth, no sleep will ever bring resting. His guilt and doubt are
It's a beautiful, beautiful video, isn't it, as well? Just a beautiful, so well done. So they always are, aren't they? But
Richard cannot stand. The 3rd stage is bargaining, begging God for second chance. Lord, I know it is a reach, but I'm begging on my knees. Resurrect
good
the
acting
boy
as well,
James,
you know.
resurrect the boy Screech. I'll devote my life to thee, I will live a life of peace. Stage 4 is depression, that's a lesson taught in grief. Depression, demonic like possession, that feeds upon this spark for life. No water is refreshing, no sunlight brings him warmth, no sleep will ever bring resting. His guilt and doubt are oh so loud, the silence sounds so deafening. Depression, the numbing of expression, the negative obsession, ruminating in oppression. Stressing is a lesson when your mind begins reflecting. That's stage number 5. 5 is acceptance. Souls get shaken up, the road's never quite ideal. Slow rise, dust it off, and let me tell tell you something, Richie, man, I'm proud. Cause you pulled a stitch from the seam, the wound was open weeping. Felt like a regression, but that flesh was set for healing. You wrestled imperfections, misdirections, what with demons. Most demons are a fallen angel, truth has double meanings. Perspective disconnects the trauma.
This is just beautiful musically, and I love that change, that feel, you know, in musically, and how Ren's just hanging around like a spirit or a ghost, you know. The voice is in your head, I suppose, you know. It's the idea of the heaven and the hell, I guess, the angels and the demons.
Souls get shaken up, the road's never quite ideal. But slow rise, dust it off. And let me tell you something, Richie, man, I'm proud. Cause you pulled a stitch from the seam, the wound was open weeping. Felt like a regression, but that flesh was set for healing. You wrestled imperfections, misdirections, what with demons. Most demons are a fallen angel, truth has double meanings. Perspective disconnects the trauma, trauma turns to lessons. The biggest curse you'll ever face could be your greatest blessing. Remember, in the darkest times, no need for second guessing. No path is ever linear, a stumble leads to stepping. You're a soldier, a scholar of life's sorrow, and day follows day. There will always be tomorrow when it gets colder. Whatever, it's only weather. Rain feeds the crops, let them grow, think clever. I'm so fucking proud of you, Richie, my boy. I know you're itchy, my boy, to get to work and deploy. Serve and protect my don, in for the right reason. I know you think you've done wrong, but look at who you become. It's your first day at work, big man.
There's going to be a twist here at the end.
High, my friend. Come on. We're all proud of you, Richie. I hope you get out there and smash it. I mean, what could go wrong?
Uh-huh. Cool, man. It's cool. So what's coming next, you know? Yeah, what's coming next? That was beautiful, wasn't it? Yeah, a lot of food for thought. Cool. Thanks for joining me, everybody. If you're new here, I've done millions of Ren songs and big push in that. There's a playlist somewhere on my channel. Aim up, look after yourselves. Love to you. See you later.